Ladies and gentlemen, you're probably stopping by because you're either a Leafs fan or a Habs fan, and we're here to talk about Game 3, where the Leafs take the lead in this, on paper, magical series between the Habs and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Join alongside me for the No Respect podcast is Alex, Justin, and myself, Mackie. Boys, let's get right into it. This was a game where the Montreal Canadiens did not really get enough until the third period, but I want to get your thoughts right away off the get-go. Justin, starting with you, what did you think about this game?
I mean, too little, too late. This is kind of what we've seen over the past 5 years. It seems on the Habs, we get stellar goaltending, but we just can't seem to put the puck in the net, and that's what hit us tonight. We got some chances at the end of the game. We had a kind of shitty second period, but put the effort in the third to try and come back, but it just didn't go in the net.
Alex, yourself?
To me, this game was a big missed opportunity because this is a night where Matthews and Marner were fairly quiet. Carey Price was standing on his head, and we couldn't come out of it with a win. In the next few games, you can't expect Matthews to be this cold. I know players probably did a pretty good job of shutting him down, but this is a guy who's going to score goals. So to not take advantage of a night like tonight, where the Leafs only scored two, is a pretty big disappointment. But hopefully we can bounce back next game.
Yeah, so a couple of details for tonight's game. Actually, Tatar was supposed to be out of this one. Cotfield draws in to the lineup, which is a great news item for the Montreal Canadiens fans because obviously we have been having trouble scoring goals. Didn't necessarily change much apart from a couple of great looks for Cotfield tonight. But actually, Eric Stahl goes out, and therefore Tatar comes back in after they get that injury. So in the first period, I mean, I want to say that it was a relatively even first period. There was 4 minutes of power play that the Montreal Canadiens did not capitalize on, which was, the part where it's a bit annoying. We did get a little bit of momentum from that. Caulfield hits a post, and Campbell had to make some good saves, and there's like a lot of chances for the Montreal Canadiens in that. But the big deal save was actually from Carey Price on Jason Spezza. And from there, we head into the second period where it's all pretty much Leafs from that standpoint. We do get a goal from Nick Suzuki after the not Mitch Marner, but the William Nylander deflection goal in front. And then Morgan Riley catches Price cheating, I should say, on that pass cross crease and actually snipes it top shelf. It was a pretty nice goal. And then lastly, the third period, really to recap this game from top to bottom before we get into your takes, is the Habs kind of putting some bounce back pressure. You see the D kind of jumping in and stuff like that, but a little bit too much, uh, opportunities that went awry in the sense that there was no real finish from the Montreal Canadiens. So I want to get your takes. Like, what do you guys think? Because obviously Leafs fans, I think they think that they had probably a decent game. But as you said, Alex, I expect them to come out with a little bit more firepower in the Austin Matthews, the Mitch Marners that were kind of shut down this game. I'd like to ask, because I know that, Alex, for you, it's mainly a question of the Leafs not performing to the level that you think that they can. But is this just a strategy that's not working out for the Habs, meaning that they are trying to shut down and play that boring type of hockey? And that's why we're seeing this low scoring affair. I know that Carey Price is a big part. Justin, why don't you give your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily dislike our game plan. I think at least this game we were generating chances. We got enough chances to win us the game if we put them away. But we've had this problem of not being able to finish on these chances. So, I mean, yeah, I mean we can say that we're concentrating too hard on shutting down Matthews, Marner, and the lot of them, but I mean, it comes down to us not being able to score, and that was what one of our like keys to success in this series. We needed to be able to score because we know that, as Alex said, like the Leafs are not going to put up a lot of games where they score two or one goal. So that's really the problem for me.
Yeah, I think that's a problem. But to me, to be honest, I think we played better in the third period because we shifted away from our apparent game plan. Before the series started, I was saying that I really hope we don't try to win these games 2-1, 1-0, because it's not going to happen against a team like the Leafs. And in the third period, you would notice our defensemen stepping up, joining the rush, mostly Jeff Petrie and Brett Kulak, because they're the only ones who can skate out of our defensemen. But the big difference between Montreal and Toronto, the reason why guys like Kerfoot and Engvall, that their depth can get more chances than ours, because they're getting clean, crisp breakout passes and support from basically all of Toronto's D-men. No, Sandin and TJ Brody aren't world beaters, but these are both guys who can skate, who can make a very clean first pass, which is something that we're severely lacking right now until the third period when Petrie and Kulak decided to step up and take more chances. I think we can beat the Leafs if we trade chances with them, especially at the level that Price is playing at. Our second and third line players are definitely better finishers than guys like Kerfoot, Thornton, Simmons, etc. So if Matthews and Marner score one or two, so what if we can beat their bottom nine? And I think that's the way the team has to play. And a guy like Caulfield coming in kind of helped with that tonight. So hopefully we can see more of our third period performance in the next few games.
Yeah, I totally agree. For us to have any type of success, especially scoring goals, that's the biggest thing in this series where the Habs are just struggling. Obviously, the second game was a lot about the penalty situation in terms of momentum, but they didn't really bounce back with any type of fight in that third when you expect them to. And you saw the best Canadians hockey when they do start doing what you're saying, Alex, which is taking a little bit more chance, joining up the rush. I remember that, a part of the game where I saw the Maple Leafs do that, and I'm like, why aren't the Montreal Canadiens doing it? And they only did it in the third, but five-man group going up at one stage for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think it was in the second when we were getting dominated, but it was like led by Joe Thornton. You saw Morgan Riley coming up, and I was like, this is exactly what the Montreal Canadiens need to be doing. And I know that you say that we don't have necessarily the defense, the type of like that can all skate. I think that they can all do that to a certain degree. At least right now, I think the game plan is designed so that they don't do that, so that they don't give up that many chances. But Carey Price still has to bail them out. I mean, the Spezza save is one, but there's multiple occasions where it's that. So I guess my question to you is that do you actually think that they're going to try that in game three and try to counter these Leafs that way, Justin?
I think we're going to see Romanov coming in into this game and just bring something more dynamic to our decor. Honestly, I think John Merrill's coming out. I don't think. I mean, he's gotten a lot of flack like on Twitter and stuff. I don't think he's played horribly in these series. It's just I don't know. It just doesn't seem to really always click and be able to. He doesn't seem to be able to get that first breakout pass. And I'll remind you guys that Romanov, I think one of his first points was a sick breakout pass to Thomas Tatar on a breakaway. So we all know that he has that ability to go up in the play and make a good breakout passes like that. So I think he comes in and he brings something different to our decor.
Yeah, a couple of quotes from tonight's game actually on Carey Price for the lack of support offensively. He said that he's not frustrated at all, to be honest. He believes in these guys. These guys are talented. I see their shots in practices every day. I have no doubt that they have the ability to score goals. I think that might be more of like a leader in Carey Price that's saying that. The other way is Shea Weber, the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, saying that the performance on Carey Price, saying he's a guy who gives us a chance to win every night. For him to step up and say something like that, he believes in the guys. I think it'll give us the confidence to hopefully break through here going forward. Say what you will. The good news is that Caulfield, I think, in this game was a high point for the Montreal Canadiens. And even if this series doesn't go our way, I think we're all excited at the prospect of Cole Caulfield being a Montreal Canadian for a very long time. Did not skip a beat when it comes to entering the playoffs, the atmosphere that it is against the Toronto Maple Leafs. We said it since the get-go that this is going to take, everybody and their sister to step up for us to pull this off. So, Justin, please.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree about Caulfield. I wish he would have played more maybe in the second. But I understand Ducharme not wanting to kind of overload him. But I did like in the third how he was even getting double shifted, and he was really kind of relied on as someone who could save the game. So I think that's something that really could boost his confidence, and not that it needs any boosting. I think he's a confident young man, and I think his first shift he hit the crossbar. So I think pucks are gonna go in the net if Caulfield plays a lot. So I'm excited for that for sure.
Yeah, I agree about Caulfield, and not just Caulfield, but our youth as a whole. Nick Suzuki stepped up tonight, much better game from him with the nice shot there for the tying goal. And Kotkaniemi, he didn't get on the score sheet, but he was creating with his zone exits, and he seemed, at least until the third period, in the first and second, he was the only center really doing that. Just some quick plays that might look pretty simple, but that other guys weren't doing, and he was hitting a winger with speed to create a scoring chance. So I think we have to trust the youth. They were the guys who were stepping up, giving us a chance. Unfortunately, it's been our veterans letting us down so far, other than Price. I know a few might have injuries and stuff, but I think you have to let the kids play and see what they can do.
Yeah, agreed. And we're back right at it tomorrow as we upload this on Monday night. Here we're playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs back to back for this next game four. Still, it's 2-1 in this series. I know that Leafs fans are probably feeling great about this victory. Again, they're doing this for their captain as the added motivation here. Still thinking about John Tavares and what he went through, but the Montreal Canadiens do have an opportunity back at the Bell Center tomorrow to tie this series up. And if you see a lot of what you saw in the third period, I like their chances. And we'll see then. So, on behalf of Alex, on behalf of Justin, myself, Mackie, you've been listening to the No Respect podcast. Game 3 review. We'll be back tomorrow with our next for Game 4. Enjoy. Go Habs, go.